his character.
Yeah, when his character shows up, and he's like, I don't need to know his name, but I was just like, when that guy shows up and he's like, I'm not here for the parts, I'm here for you. It's like, oh, there's more going on. Yes. So, the last episode when the heist was happening, I was really excited to see how it was going out. I knew stuff was going to go wrong, and I was anticipating that a few of them would die. Especially when they foreshadowed that, like, hey, if one of you dies, he can do pretty much all of your jobs.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we brought him in. And I was like, oh, so
he's the fail-safe.
It's high risk, So they knew what they were going into, that it was high risk and that they probably weren't going to all walk out together. But I was just interested to see how it played out and like who died and how they died. And that one character, the one guy that was alive and then he shot him at the end. What's his name?
Skeen?
Oh, Skeen?
Yes.
Skeen. Yeah.
He was by far the most interesting character of them all, where he was like looking at his gear and able to tell who he was. And it was like, read my tattoos, like tell me who I am. So he's like gauging how perceptive he is and like pulls off this crystal. He's like, I knew it. So that character, I think, really carried the last 2 episodes that we watched. He really made the drama, the tension, but he also was the most interesting part of that, revealing who Andor was to this group, so that way everybody was kind of on the same page and knew who he was. And then, of course, at the end where he was like, let's split the money. And it was like, oh, this is bad. So
I didn't see that coming, to be honest with you. That one caught me by surprise.
I didn't see it either when he shot him. And I was just like, that's one way to deal with that. I guess that's the way out, because how do you get out of that? I was like, what's going to stop him from killing you once you drop him off at the planet? With all the money, he's going to be like, thanks, and then you're dead. You can't trust this guy anymore. So he did the right thing. He was just like, yeah, you're dead. He's like, I'm just taking my cut. I'm not taking yours. He's like, but I'm getting the heck out of here. So it's like, where's he going now? He's still looking for his sister. Where do you go? So we have his sister involved. We have that guy from, the corporate, whatever, the one cop that like big blunder.
Cyril Karn.
That guy, so something is coming with him still. It's like he went home to mama, but things are not done with him.
No. Yeah, he's definitely got something else.
And then we got Mon Mothma and whoever this character is that Bill Skarsgård is playing. So I'm interested
Luthen
to see
is the best. I love watching him.
Yeah.
I'm telling you, that scene that he had when he went through that transformation on the ship, I was like, whoa.
What did I what? And then all the stuff in that back room, I was like, wait, go back.
Yeah, Ross said he paused it. What do you think, Sarah? You still liking it?
I mean, I like it. I mean, it's still trying to see this in I guess in the Star Wars world, because like I said, it just feels so realistic, because it's like, like if I was in this is the world I would be in. The world I would be in would have nothing to do with Jedi or nothing to other stuff. I'd probably just hear it like, I'd probably be in like an Outer Rim world or something. It's like nobody knows what the hell's going on. I would say this episode had a little bit more, spunk to it. It was, as I've heard you guys, sitting there talk about it. This particular episode reminded me a lot of the Solo movie. I don't know if it was just with the heist or some of the characters, but it was just very reminiscent. Because like now I'm because I just watched it last night, so it's just very reminiscent of that kind of pacing, I guess you could say. I will say that the visuals in this one was really awesome, because that was what meteor shower or whatever it was. I mean, that was super cool. That was super cool, because I mean it was like, whoa, you can imagine yourself sitting there, seeing that. It's just like, wow, this is great. And
how scary was it? They were inside of that.
Oh, yeah.
I know, right? I mean,
without any kind of direction, really.
It's like no different than being in an asteroid field, but the asteroids are going a little bit faster. They're actually moving. I think with the deaths, I think it, as far as like being a part of the rebellion, especially with the younger fella, him not making it, it's, you do have that kind of stake. To me, it kind of made it feel more real, because I think if everybody had made it out without this happening, I don't think it would have felt as like, okay, this it's getting real now. You know,
Mm-hmm.
we sit here like that crowd. They had sat there and talked about it for so long, and then Andor Cassian comes in and he's like, "You guys don't even know. You don't know yet, because when you get you can talk about it all you want to. You think you can prepare for it, but once you're in the midst of it, there's a lot that's going to be a lot of moving parts, and I don't think you guys have realized. You know, especially the fact of how even getting the transport to move. Yeah, I mean, you know, it's just
like,
just
you
some
have
of
no
those.
clue
It's like
what you're doing.
you've got to kind of bring a seasoned guy in. You know, it's just like, you hadn't even thought about that. What? Yeah. So I mean, it's and with Scheme, that threw me off too, because you know there's having this, or it's not really conversation. You know, he's saying what he's saying. I'm like, is this guy for real? Is he joking, or is he just kind of like throwing it out there, saying a what if scenario?
Is he
Apparently
testing
not,
me?
because it was just like out of nowhere. You're just like, whoa, okay. I guess Cassian didn't like that talk, so he just went, you know, just did his own little thing. But yeah, I mean, it's I'm hoping there's a little bit more like that, because, like I said, the previous episodes I felt like more of a build up, but like you said, it's like a build up to what? I mean, we've met some really cool characters. I think, you know, there's probably a lot of speculation as to where we can go with this, but I'm just kind of along for the ride, honestly. I mean, it is interesting because, you know, it's, you know, one of the Star Wars type deals where you don't have like the typical, you know, like what you would expect. And I mean, and it's fun. But then again, sometimes you kind of like, it makes you think. Maybe
you're waiting for the story to unfold. This is what you're doing.
I mean, there's an anticipation, you know, build up and all that kind of stuff. I mean, that's cool, but I give you a little bit throughout. So that's why I kind of like this episode. I mean, yeah, it is a little more faster paced. Yeah, I mean, give me that a little bit. I mean, because you can only have so much drama. But I mean, it's been interesting thus far.
Yeah. Well, you know, the entire series so far has been building up this heist, so this almost felt like a finale, because beyond this, we don't really know where it's going after this. Like everything else before, we've known, okay, this is what they're working towards. Now they've accomplished this heist. We have no idea where the show is going in the future, so it's almost like watching a second season coming up. I did want to say, going back to Ross's comment, the lieutenant doing a better job of making sure nobody. I think he did a good job of that. Remember, it was just that one high-speed radio guy that intercepted their frequency. Otherwise, they would have never known they were there. So I think he did a good job of that, but it was just, you know, you knew something was going to happen. I literally was on the edge of my seat with this show. Like there'll be some shows where I'm watching and like I can know what's going to happen, or I have an idea what's going to happen. This show, I knew people were going to die in the heist. I knew Andor was going to make it, and it'll only be in Cassian and the head girl, right? Were the only two that ended up surviving the whole thing. So only two of them made it out.
Well,
but like the whole time,
Nemec actually died.
Oh no, yeah, the one that stayed behind. She in the uniform. She was holding them hostage.
Yeah,
she walked out.
That's Cinta.
She walked out. Okay.
Yes.
Cinta walked out, but did Nemec the boy? Did he actually die on the table?
He died.
Yeah.
He died. Okay.
Yeah, because
they
they
pulled
covered
the sheet
him up.
over him.
That's right, because they gave him the book. That's right.
Yeah. I will say with Skeen, that actor, I've only seen him in one other thing before, and it was The Bear. He was in The Bear. It's a cooking show, not a cooking show. It's like a 8-part drama series on Netflix. It's got the guy who plays.
Was he the brother?
It's got the guy who plays
the older brother.
He was the older brother,
or the cousin. Yeah. It was a brother or cousin.
Yeah, something like that.
Who that guy was.
Yeah, that's the only thing I've ever seen him in, and he plays the same character, the exact this asshole. Like I look at this guy, and it's like I'm either going to be your best friend, or I'm going to want to fight you every time I see you. One of those two things. Like you either love this guy or you fucking can't stand him. And he played that role well. He plays that guy. I hate stereocasting this or typecasting one character, one actor, but I haven't seen him in anything else. So I thought he did a good job. But Skeen's death really surprised me. Like I didn't know what Andor was going to do.
That's the thing. And so like what you're going to say, because I mean now everyone's talked about the death of him. It's such a parallel because you have him and Andor were kind of the same person, right? Like Skeen went through his stuff, and they sat there and looked through all of his stuff. They had that little moment where they were talking about their prison and their childhood and whatever it took them to actually grow up and be the people that they are right now. And then when Andor came out and said that he was only about the money, Skeen played on that in the end. And then what you just saw was character progression with Cassian, and he ended up shooting him because
he was in the Punisher.
Was he?
Scheme.
shit, which one?
2017 series.
Oh, okay. The Netflix series.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Yeah.
I don't remember.
But did Cassian look
Yeah.
surprised that he shot him? He just kind of
Oh,
did it. He was like, I'm like,
He
Almost
looked
like it was
surprised
a
the first time
knee-jerk
he shot
reaction.
somebody.
You know.
I mean, it's like, did you think it through, or was it just like a rash decision, and you're just like, oh,
Totally rash.
what do I do?
I think he thought it through because really there was no way out of that situation at this point. If he disagrees with this guy, the guy's going to kill him. If he takes him to where he wants, the guy's going to kill him, right? And then if he rats him out, they won't believe him.
True.
So,
I think
which
with
could
3
get
days,
him killed.
3 days with all these people has shown Andor a little bit about what Luthen wanted him to be and to see.
Mhm.
And, where they pulled the kid out. Cassian had nothing,
Right.
really, like no plans in life. He wasn't exactly going anywhere.
Right.
And so when Luthen gave him purpose, it took him a few days to see it and to realize that, what, if these are the type of people that are out here stealing money like this, and they have no experience, then what could he do? And then I feel like that moment with Skeen was kind of like a moment to where he took it upon his own self to just be like, no, this is about the cause. Like, I think that, we finally crossed the point with Cassian to where like he's starting to see it, and the little kid really helped push him in that direction.
Mm-hmm.
But then he took his money and left.
Yeah.
Well, we think. We don't know. That's what he said, but we haven't seen. It went straight to Luthen after that, right?
On to another one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I will say that
we'll see in the beginning if he's with her still, then it might be telling, what his decision actually is. But
I think you'll see him go back to Luthen at least, or Luther at least. Is it Luthen or Luther?
Luthen with an N.
Luthen. Okay. I think you'll definitely see him go back to him at least, because now you just got this big payday from this guy. Now it looks like you've almost got a bookie, or a pimp.
That's right.
So somebody to get you a source of money. The thing I didn't like about Skeen's death scene, I didn't like the way he walks in and explains it. He's like, I killed him. And then I know,
I was like
2 more sentences, and then that's it.
More information.
Yeah, nothing else.
Like, your buddy out there tried to buy me.
Yeah,
and everyone's waiting for her to say what.
Yeah,
it was a test. That's what all my brain could sit there and think about was her to be like, "Wait, you killed him? That was a test."
Well, first she was like, "Where is he?" And he was like, "Oh, he's dead." So
yeah,